What's up, guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about creating pitch decks that your investors will love. Let's get into it. So a pitch deck is a vital part of your fundraising process. It's a vital part of a fund. You know, you're gonna use it when capital raising, whether you use it when presenting or not. It's gonna be part of your story. It's one of your core marketing materials that you're gonna be using. And in today's video, I want to talk through some of the main elements that you need to have in a successful pitch deck. Now, first of all, common pitching practices. Let's just talk about that. First, discovery questions. Make sure that you are speaking to your investor. For example, I had someone pitch me yesterday who talked to me all about, very rudimentary level on options and how they work in their deck. And if as an investor, I understand options. Like if I was listening to this, thinking about allocating, no way. It was just way too elementary. So just make sure you ask discovery questions, know where your investor's at, and speak at at their sophistication level. Number two, your pitch shouldn't be more than 15 minutes. All right, 10 to 15 minutes. You can maybe get away with 20, but nobody wants to listen to you talk for that long. Keep it short, keep it succinct, and if they have questions and they want you to expound on different spots, by all means, that's why you set up longer meetings. You can have a discussion, but don't talk for more than 15 minutes. Let's get into some of the the meat and bones here. So a lot of people think that when you're pitching funds, it's the same thing that like you're pitching a seed investment on like an early stage company, like you would for pitching for venture capital dollars. And part of that is true, but other parts of it are not. There's some key differences. So, a lot of, decks, when companies are going out and trying to raise money from venture capitalists, they'll present it in a problem solution scenario, which I love. I think funds should be presented exactly the same. Now, there's kind of two main ways that people will start like a fund pitch deck. You can either do problem solution, where you either identify this, key data point that your thesis revolves around, or and then how your thesis is the solution to that problem. Or you can start by giving an executive summary and giving an overview of the fund, what it is you're doing. Usually, if you're doing it that way, that's going to be followed by a management slide. Just a quick overview of the team and who you are, and then you get into the strategy. Personally, I like just getting straight into the problem solution and talking about the market, and then talking about your management and the core of your fund a little later. And everyone's going to tell you different. That's the thing. There's no one right way to do it. It's about you communicating your story effectively and talking about the things that are most important. So your solution is kind of like, it can be the same thing, but that's just all part of your strategy, right? Obviously that needs to be in there, but your investment thesis, what it is you're trying to prove. When you're syndicating deals, your pitch deck is about selling the deal, okay? When you're pitching a fund, you are selling the strategy and the sponsor, okay? So a key distinction there. But yeah, so, hop into your strategy, and then don't give me surface level. Like, I want you to really go into your process, okay? Whether that's your due diligence, your investment criteria, breakdowns, how you make decisions, the hierarchy of decision making in your fund, and show me a flow chart from deal sourcing to acquisition. And that's another key point. There's kind of two types of decks. There's two approaches to do it. We call it either a reader deck or like a presentation deck. A presentation deck you are using when you're presenting to people, minimal text, a lot of charts, it's digestible. It is visualizing what you are telling me. Okay, because sometimes if you're actually using the pitch deck, this is like presenting 101, right? If you have a very text heavy slide, then I'm going to be probably trying to read that as you're talking to me, and makes for people getting lost. So reader decks are good if you like send it over via email, like it's good to have that material. Like if a CIO is going to go talk to their board, you know, like, yeah, give them the reader deck, because then they're not showing their board a bunch of pictures, because they're probably not going to communicate it the same way that you would. Another key slide that needs to be somewhere in your deck is about your team. This should include bios. People always ask about the bios. It should probably just have like accolades, like key accolades of why you're great and why I should trust you as, you know, an investor. So just like, don't give me a life story and don't talk about your, like, I don't know, people have different takes. You know how in like a profile, some people put like their hobbies, and I don't think that's really appropriate. Like, I think it's just more of, tell me why I should trust you as the sponsor of this opportunity. But, you know, to each his own. So yeah, definitely headshots, profiles. I would include logos of service providers, right? Leverage their experience. If you have a fund admin and a legal team and tax advisors, like throw their logos in there. They're part of your team, and sell them as, you know, we have the best in class service providers. So property managers for real estate, all those things. Another slide that should definitely be in there is just fund terms. So your fund terms are going to be like, you know, your waterfall, your catch up, your minimum commitment, your fee structure. You can put these all on the same slide or different slides, whatever, you know, whatever you guys think is best. But definitely have fund terms in there. You know, investors want to see that, you know, as they're going through it. It's an important topic. Some people will say, well, I just should have those in my offering documents. And no, like literally everyone wants to know that. So I would be more of an advocate for, you know, putting that into your fund terms. Last but not least is a case study. Now, obviously this is different for different verticals. Like if you're in real estate, you know, show me either a past investment, current, or potential investment. I think past is the best. If you don't have one, show me a current or potential, and say, hey, this is what we bought it for. This is the IR. This is what we sold it for. This was the IRR on the project. This is what we did to improve the value. If it's trading, hey, here's a trade that we made. You know, this is where we bought and why, and here's where we sold and why, and get benchmarked against your benchmark. A company, you know, this is what we bought it for. This is what we did to make it better. This is what we sold it for. Had you been in on this deal, this would be your IRR on that. So that's just kind of 7 things that need to be in your pitch deck. You obviously have a lot more, but I think if your pitch deck, if I ever see one without one of these in one way, shape, or form, like the delivery might be different, and that's okay, but these need to be in there. Then I'm gonna just send you right back and say, hey, you know, include these and come back and talk to me later. So a pitch deck is a huge part of, and this is a big thing that we you know, work with our Black Card students on perfecting their deck. You know, making it investor ready. We go through several practices, and you know, help you guys get ready for the big leagues. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching today. Hope you have a good one.